All right, so this was the intro episode for Yellow in her kingdom. Once again, the budget just. I want to know what's going on behind the scenes because this is beautiful what they're doing here. Now there is more of a real life aspect. Like they actually had shots of like islands, like real world islands. They had a field of different colored flowers that they kind of used as the backdrop. But there was parts where it was CGI too. Again, this wasn't as much because again they probably just kind of set this up as all like a flower display, and then we're just like, okay, whatever we can't do, let's just add CGI for the parts we can't do. So not as much as first two episodes, but this is still gorgeous, still beautiful. Even though that's what the queen is about, beauty and medicine. She can heal anyone, and that's kind of what comes into the main part of the second half of this episode. But first, like it really sets you up to be like, hey, this girl is a dick. She hates her people. She just does not care about anything but herself. They make her out to be a spoiled brat. So like they just want you to hate her in the first half of this episode. And I'm sitting there like I can't get behind that because they're gonna have eventually we're gonna get a backstory of something happened to her, and this is why the way she is. And it's kind of teased. Kind of teased in the middle of this episode with her butler, which we find out he's 25, and she's like, hey, I need you to look like an old man. I need you to look butler-esque. And so he's forced to make himself look like, I don't know, a 70-year-old man or something like that. Which I just find so funny. But, he brought up some things like, hey, like, you guys might see her as, a spoiled brat who's a dick to her people, but that's not who she actually is. And there's this one scene where, there's a couple scenes where she's being kind of mean to, Red and Blue here. But there's a specific scene where they're leaving the castle to go, I think they were going to go talk to the Zords or something. I forget what it was. They were going out. They were leaving the castle essentially, and there was this man and his daughter, who he's like, hey, like I hate you as my queen because my daughter's legs are still broken. They're not working. Like your medicine didn't work for me. You're a spoiled brat who just cares only about herself. Doesn't want to help the people at all. And this is the part where I thought. The Red, Gira, I think it's Gira. I'm still learning the names. I'm still trying to learn the names. Basically Red, he's kind of staring from a distance, just kind of watching this happen. And I thought he was going to go over and kind of, talk to her or whatever. But he just kind of stands there, kind of reflecting. He's thinking about his rainbow something, whatever, his famous food that he's only had once in his life. And, but he still wants to help the children. Because they kind of set the scene up before of like, hey, like I want to, feed them this rainbow food, and I want to, help the children, protect the next generation, essentially. So that's why I thought he was going to get involved in this, but he just kind of stays quiet. They show his facial expressions for a little bit there, and then we go to the queen who just gets in a the carriage, and they just kind of leave. It's kind of, we're out of here. And so we hang back with the father's like, hey, like, I'm sorry, like, we have another month's, rent, right? I can help, I can, survive for one more month, but can't do much else with, the condition you're in. And so what happens is, they leave, they kind of go off, do their own thing. And then the main, fight here at the end, which, we'll get, I want to talk about the monsters of the week here in a minute, but, anyway, so, come back, she gets her wheelchair knocked over. She's kind of stranded in the middle of the road. And the monster of the week launches this like ink bomb, or not, maybe not like I don't even know if beetles can like have this defense mechanism where they kind of like spit crap out. But the thing is it's an upside down beetle, so the head of the costume is actually the butt, which it's again we'll get into that. We'll talk. It's stupid. It's weird. But he kind of like the monster. We kind of launches this like spit bomb type of thing at at the ground where the girl is, and the queen kind of protects her, gets her dressed dirty. And the girl's like, hey, like, why'd you save me? Like, your dress is destroyed now. And she's like, hey, like, I can replace this shirt. I can replace this, dress. It's fine. It doesn't matter to me. I can replace the gloves. I can't replace a human being. And that's where the episode turns of like, okay, there she is. That's what we're waiting for. Again, they try to throw a plot twist in there and, face turn and whatnot, but I didn't buy it. I could not buy it at all. And so the queen tells the girl, like, hey, like, you gotta believe in yourself. Like, you can walk. I healed you. I know I did. You just gotta believe that you can walk. And so the queen goes, transforms, fights off the minions, and the girl slowly kind of gets up. Now, well, not too slowly, because she actually, they should have drew this out more. But they didn't, because she, like, sits there for a minute kind of contemplating, and then she's just like, I'm out! And I'm like, at least draw it out! Come on! But she runs away, she gets to safety, so she can walk now, goes back to her dad. And then, we get the fight scene, we get the Megazord fight scene, which, again, is against the Monster of the Week, who, they're some sort of African beetles. A dung beetle. I think that's what this is based off of. But again, I don't know. I've never heard of any like dung beetle be able to like spit out like slime or whatever you want to call it. So I guess that's kind of the Sentai fantasy version of it. But it's basically like a dung beetle where it rolls up. They play it off as poo. I think it's just dirt. I don't. We're not going to get into that, but he kind of uses it to protect himself from the Zord. Eventually they're like, hey, like we can't do anything here. We're tired of this. And so the Yellow Queen sees apparently a snail Zord is just wandering around her kingdom. So like, Jesus. We got Zords just wandering around everywhere in this world. So they're just like, oh, plot device, there's a snail. And oh, look, it's a gun. I'm sorry. It's the funniest thing ever. So we just have plot devices walking around this world. And again, like they had some smaller versions of like roly polies and whatnot, kind of in episode 1. I don't think there's really any bugs in episode 2. But you kind of saw like mini versions. But I just find it so funny. Hey, plot device! Look it, we need that. Oh, we need a new toy. There it is, right there. Anyway, to get back on track, so Snail combines with the sword. He just goes pew 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 pew, and I thought this was really cool. And what happens was they fire at the dung ball essentially enough, and it like breaks apart like a kind of like a sculpture, and it like creates like a tree kind of thing. And it's only in one shot. It's never mentioned. But they focus on it, and everything kind of like falls apart, and it's just like a bunch of branches without leaves on it. So I think they're kind of going for like, hey, like we're gonna make this a beautiful thing here in this kingdom. So I like that. I did like that. I thought it was very cool. I think that was CGI. If it was clay, that was pretty cool. But I think that was like a CGI like fake tree type of thing. So they go, they take care of it. They do a rider kick. Because I gotta give the Mantis the final blow here. So they do a rider kick, send him into the air, and boom, explosion. Then we go back to the ground, destroyed city there. Queen takes off her dress, gets it cleaned. The butler, again, who's 25, takes it over to the dad, who is talking to his daughter of, hey, like, oh my god, like, you can walk. Like, holy crap, like, woohoo, you can walk. And she's like, hey, I want to go my own path. I want to be like the queen. I want to be selfless like the queen. And the butler gives the dress to the dad, who's like, hey, like, I can, butler's like, hey, clean this if you can, help the kingdom, help the queen. And he's like, hey, I love to. Quick character arc. So we see the queen has something else on, and she's, kind of listening from inside this little wardrobe thing. It's, I'll put it up on screen. You'll see it up on screen. So then she comes out. She's decked out in this, I don't want to say futuristic, but like, it's like a medicine type of, and we'll put that up on screen too. It's this cool dress, and like how the queen dress is kind of, I don't want to say bulky, but like it kind of is bulky. Like this is slimmed down. She's got these cool like glove hand things, and she's like, hey, bring everyone in the kingdom. Let's go heal everyone up. Let's get everything back to normal in this kingdom. Before they can do that, I forget what was. Oh my god, I forget what whatever the black sword was. Is it a Hercules beetle? I believe it was another beetle. Comes in and it's like, hey, I'm gonna kill you. So he fires a blast. A red, God, I forget what the red beetle. It's Kua God, I think is what they call it, or I think that's what it's called. Basically, it's another type of beetle, and saves them. They fly away, and we go right into the trailer for next week. We get a flying battle, so we're picking up right where we left off. Flying battle. We go to this kingdom, which I'm sorry, I'm not versed in Japanese culture and whatnot, so I don't know like what kind of time period type of thing this is. Now, obviously, it's all been kind of different time periods. Like, you have like a poor kingdom, you have like a beautiful kingdom, you have like a futuristic kingdom. This seems like more like a Japanese culture type of kingdom. So I'm sorry, you guys can let me know what it is down below, because I feel bad. I got a lot of stuff to learn, okay? I got a lot to learn. But it's kind of like a past type of thing. Like, I feel like they do it a lot in Sentai and Rider. I don't know what era it is, though, so I'm sorry. I don't know what the era is. I know people are going to get mad, because why don't you know this? But going to that, we see Black, kind of decked out. It's like, hey, like, I'm here to kill you guys. And yeah, so we're going to get a fight with him next episode. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Bugnarok monsters, and the leader and whatnot. It feels so, I don't know, it feels like it kind of takes away from the episode. And then we don't have the, human-sized monster of the week. They're automatically, gigantified. So they just fight the minions while the monster of the week is just destroying the kingdoms as, a gigantic monster. So, I don't know. I would prefer if, Down Brother kind of did the reverse of it, constantly having, a human-sized monster, not always having, so, a gigantic monster. So, I guess I prefer more so the human-sized one. Get them to fight, and then, they can grow giant. And I'm sure we'll get that. But it feels weird. It's like, okay, well, this guy should be able to destroy, like, the kingdom within minutes while they're sitting there fighting the minions down in human level. So, either have someone, I guess automatically go into the Zord and start fighting the monster or something. Or I don't know, or have them again be human-sized and then grow up. But I don't know, it feels weird to me. But again, it's kind of the reverse of what Don Brother did last season. So I get it. I liked not having a Megazord fight every week, but that was mainly because they did a lot of CGI stuff for the Megazord fights, versus this is a practical suit. So I'm okay with that. You gotta get the toys in. But like it just even the main bad guy just feels like, hey, And I get it. They're supposed to kind of drag this out of, he's, just sits there and lets everyone else do his bidding until he's the last one, to die to the heroes. But he's just like, hey, I need someone. Just go ahead and go. Go ahead and go. Go do your thing. Even though the first 2 episodes, he appeared in front of the heroes and's like, hey, I'm going to sick one of my monsters on you if you don't give me the Zords. And here, from now on for a while, I feel like we're just going to be like, okay, who's next? Who's the next monster of the week to go die for me? So I don't know. I'm not sold on the Bugnarok monsters. Whatever. I'm just going to call them Bugnarok monsters because I don't remember what the real term is. But they bring up Bugnarok so much, so I'm going to learn that word real fast. But, I just, whatever. They're just, plot device to get the heroes to come together and fight together. Still assembling a team. Still, we got the king, which I can't wait till Gira goes back to face the king. Because I'm hoping that the king has his own, suit. I don't want him to become the Sixth Ranger, to be honest. But I would love if he's like an or maybe not even an anti-hero. Just make him a flat-out villain. Like, have 2 sets of villains. The Bugnarok villains and then, the Red Kingdom villains. So, yeah, that's, again, basic intro episode. Not too much, nothing too crazy. Yeah, and again, we'll find out more about Yellow, and, again, they played it up. It's like, hey, she's a spoiled brat, and they playing up, hey, like, there's a reason for that. There's a reason the way that she is. So, we'll find out more. Obviously, again, this is the intro arc. These first 5-6 episodes are intro arcs, and then we get into the first arc of the series here. So, for now, like the video, share the video around, don't forget to subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace.